Welcome everybody, this is Donnaleigh and I'm here to do a brief reading on the power of no. And I'm going to be using two beautiful decks. And first I started off with my Tarot Tools candle by CoventryCreations.com, and it comes with some oils and some stones and some salts and to have that burning to keep us going. And I'm using two wonderful decks. One is the Deck of Shadows. It's an oracle card deck by Scott Grossberg at thinkingmagically.com. Not to be missed, you don't need any kind of special training to use this deck. It is easy to use out of the box. Very honest deck. Also, another deck that's new for me is the Infinite Visions Tarot by Gloria Jean. Wonderful deck at infinitevisionstarot.com. You can see those cards. And I pined over this a long time before I finally took the plunge, and I'm glad I did. There are two extra cards in this deck. And here are the back sides of the cards and a few others. And it is a handmade, exquisitely put together deck. For my reading, I asked about the power of no. We're often afraid to say that word when we're asked something, and sometimes we realize after the fact that, how did I get myself into this? So I have 4 columns that I use for my readings. You'll see they're vertical. And this left column is the situation. The next one is our challenge. The next is what tarot advises us for the highest good. And the last is our outcome, what could happen in our future. So we will learn about that at the end. And first of all, we'll go card by card here. I'm going to sit so I can hold this still. And we start, you notice this card is upside down, and this is the 9 of Cups. Traditionally, this card would mean wishes come true, things happening exactly the way we want them. This is the wish come true in the tarot deck, of the card that people want. But it was reversed, you noticed. So that does suggest that, you know, this is going to create a situation that is challenging for us, and this is not what I asked for. This is not the genie in the bottle, and I thought I would be nice by saying yes, that this is where I am now. And I always say that corner card, that top left card, is the most important card in the reading, and everything goes back to that card, so all the other cards have a cord back to this one. The second card is the 10 of Cups. Very similar meaning, because typically this is one of the most beautiful cards in the deck, and it suggests happy family, bliss, emotional fulfillment. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. 10 are endings, and it's the end of a perfect cycle. And this card was reversed, so that shifts it a bit. And what we've done is overturned our ability to get to that 10. We've hit a stall, and we've put up kind of a kink into our otherwise happy existence, because now there's something that we didn't say no to that perhaps we should have. So we need to think about whether it fits into our scheme of family, and whether it fits into what is our personal goal and our personal wishes and what we want to do. So if it's something you can do, if it's an elective yes or no, you might want to consider those questions. The Deck of Shadows gives us a good look here, because we have, if you look up here, see if you can see that, we've got the King of Clubs, which is like the King of Wands. And you will notice I'm going to take you up here to the other corner. That comes up reversed in our outcome. So that's significant. Those two cards tie together. Okay? King of Wands here. And when we accept the no, or we accept the job, and we should have said no rather, look at some of the key words that we have here. This dissension. We now have disappointment, and we kind of have to disappear from, well, we want to disappear from the situation or stop doing it. We often are afraid to say we can't do something, afraid to use that word no, because we consider what we're a fallen idol. Will we be considered less by the person asking if we say no? And there's a ladder there again that I would say it makes kind of a nod to that. Is it on your way to the ladder of where you are going? So many of us fear saying no because we want to make other people happy, but this really does say it's a dissension. We're not really lifting ourselves up when we don't live our truth. Our challenge, again, this is reversed. This is the Four of Wands card. Look how gorgeous this is. And had this not been in the challenge position, we are full of celebration. There's people all around her, and this is a card of parties and being together with people and happy home. It's a wonderful fiery card of parties and good times. And when we find this in our challenge position, we may not have time for many of those things because we got this thing to do now. We may not feel so celebratory about a relationship because now we regret saying something, which is really our own fault, but we may often blame it on the other person. And the celebration goes flat, and that can be an expression of the feeling of the relationship. The Six of Wands is the victory card, and people looking up to you and perhaps recognizing you. And many people may say yes to something, perhaps so that they'll be recognized as a good person or recognized for having achieved something, or maybe they want to reach up the next ladder of society and get somewhere, so they're doing it with a goal of popularity. But this is a challenge here, and this is suggesting to us, if those are our goals, is going to create a challenge for us with the word no. This is going to be a situation where perhaps if we're doing it for people looking up for us, it's not for self as much as we think it is. If it's a challenge, and this is the victory card, it may be that having self-victory or personal victory will end up being kind of a roadblock. And look what we get here. Six of Hearts, which is a card of giving someone a gift and sacrifice. I'm sorry, sacrifice is the word under it. Giving someone a gift and nostalgia, and maybe we try to do things in order to gift someone by saying yes, but look what it gives us. It makes a big sacrifice in our life. We create promises, then we wonder if we can fulfill them. We may feel isolated in that regret that we have, and there we have an ordeal. And look at us, our little cave. Caves have to do with looking within the inner self, and it also can mean, much like the Hermit does, isolation. What does Tarot advise us when we get kind of a query from someone to do something? So we're in the advice column now. The Two of Pentacles comes up, and you can see she's got a good balance here, and it looks like he is asking her, will you buy something, or would you like one of these? And she's got kind of a balance here. What will her response be? The Two of Pentacles is about juggling things appropriately and multitasking in a way that it's appropriate. It's nice. This card is upright. If it were reversed, it would mean you might have to drop a ball, or too many things going on that you have to drop something, or things get kind of cluttered. But this advises us to take on only as much as you can handle. And I read somewhere that it said, don't buy anything cute just because it's cute. And if you do really need it, think before you buy of where you would put it in your house. And if you don't know the spot, don't buy it. And that goes in our lives as well. If you don't have the room for the request, kindly turn it down because you don't have the time. Next we have the Seven of Cups, again upright. And this is a card about choices and making sure that we have the right choices, or that we even understand the choices, sometimes not fully knowing what we're choosing. So this really asks you to take a good leisurely look at what you are choosing and making sure it does fit in your dream, your scheme, and making sure that it helps you take flight in your dream. But you can see she's got a lot here, and she's not running, she's sitting, she's relaxed. So there does need to be downtime. It also advises us, there we got the Four of Pentacles, which is about holding on to what we've got. It's not a giving out, it's a holding on. It's a secure, stable four limbs on the ground, hands and feet securely put there. And it's about being a little miserly. So sometimes you have to kind of give a no. And don't feel you have to rescue everybody. You know, there are times when I know I have this issue. I feel like I have to pick everybody up and brush everybody off, but it's not, remember, our responsibility to rescue the world. But you do what you can for good, but understand that there are times when you need to rescue yourself. And that's where we give ourselves protection and really take a good look at what do we need to create boundaries around ourselves, which is another thing that the Four of Pentacles represents, is boundaries. It can be psychic boundaries, it can be physical boundaries, it can be just friendly boundaries. You know, we can still let people in, but we have to make sure that we hang on to that. focusing on the home again, which is what we had earlier in our challenge about being able to focus on the home. And interesting, the word religion, and I would be interested in what people see about this, but it can be perhaps we are taught that we have to do certain things in order to fit a certain set of rules. That if in order to ascend you have to do this or that for others. If you don't, maybe you would consider that it would be a bad thing or a sin. And perhaps it's just to look at what is your personal religion and the rights that you give to yourself in order to protect yourself. And here we have the outcome. So this is very interesting because we could read this if we use our choices well. The King of Wands shows a decrease in energy. So the fire isn't so bright. We're no longer a forest fire. We are no longer raging out of control. I'm going to turn this over so you can see the stunning card. And the King of Wands here is, you can see there's a volcano erupting in the background. I hope you can see that. And there's a lot going on in terms of eruptions and fire, but reversed, we are now talking about dimming things a little bit, a little more relaxing. And that kind of looks like this woman right here in her lounge chair. So there is a little more downtime and we're not quite so fired up. Also, we get the Three of Swords reverse, a very interesting card to get because upright, it's a very sorrowful card. And it's a card that people don't want to get because you really are pierced through the heart and you feel pain, but lovely card to get reversed because now we have a release and healing. And we begin to kind of understand our own heart. So this is a letting go card, and we are able to let go of feeling brokenhearted for saying no to people. It's perfectly okay. Lastly, look what we get. We get maturation. All right, and we have the Seven of Pentacles here. That is growth, slow, wonderful growth and development and reaching the fruits of our harvest. It's about expansion, about becoming the best that we can be. Now we are adults. We no longer feel we have to do things like we would when we were younger, just to make everybody happy. Savor the moments that you have. We get a labyrinth here that we can walk through and kind of take our time. Savor time. When you have free time, make sure you use it in a sacred way. And the power of no can be a very powerful thing to give you your life back. And Tarot suggests here that is actually a pretty good thing to consider. And that's my reading today, and may you enjoy the